Hi guys, DCRS here, and I'll be doing another video for today. This time with a how-to guide on making a good, decent deck with just 3 structure decks of any kind. 3 of the same structure deck of any kind, actually. And yeah, this basically was, this idea was been going on for a while now, and from what I did before with my Realm of the Sea Emperor structure deck video, that combined three of the structure decks together to make a decent deck. This is what I'm going to do for today. I'll be doing Dark Worlds for today. Basically, a subscriber asked me to do make a video for this type of art shop. I guess it's quite easy to make since Dark World's very easy and anyone can do it. Basically, I will be running through the guide. If you have not read so already for the episode title. Anyway, let's begin. For the monsters, I'd run 3 Graphas for an importance part. Because the deck runs around Grapha. It basically runs around. The deck is basically relies on Grapha the most. It's good for destruction and also control as well. So yeah, I'd run 3 of him. I'd also run about 3 Snows. It's basically the rotor and the Stratos of the deck. It searches out everything that's Dark World named. And yeah, it's really good. So it's basically the searcher. The other ones I'd run is 2 Ceruleans. The reason why I only run 2 instead of 3 because this deck, this card isn't really useful in a way, but he's good for when he's discarded by a card effect, by a Dark World's effect. It special summons to your opponent's side of the field, and when it's onto your opponent's side, when special summons to your opponent's side of the field, you basically have to discard 1 card because your opponent. Basically, it says your opponent has to discard 1 card, meaning the opponent of this monster's. Oh no, basically. It special summons on your opponent's side of the field, and your opponent is the owner of this card from then. So you, basically the opposite player, has to discard a card. Sorry, it's a bit confusing, but this text is really difficult to say. I'd also run 3... actually, no, wait. Sorry about that. Where is it? Here it is. I messed it up. 3 Brows. Basically, it's a drawer. If it's discarded, but if it's discarded, you basically draw another card, and if it's discarded by opponent's card effect, you basically draw an extra card for it. So discard it, draw a card, and then draw another card for it. Really useful. I'd run about 2 Beiges. It's basically a special summoner. If it's discarded, it's automatically special summoned on the field, which is really good. Special summon to the graveyard, I mean. Now, here's the part where it gets a bit tricky. If you want destruction power, I'd go with about 2 golds, because it basically, if it's discarded, it's special summoned onto the field, to your side of the field, and if it's discarded by your opponent's card effect, this card special summons on the field, and then you can destroy up to 2 cards on your opponent's side of the field, so it's good for destruction. But if you're not interested in destruction and more based on control, you can run 2 Silvers instead, because Silver is a control-based type of monster, and when it's discarded, it's special summoned onto your field, and if it's discarded by opponent's card effect, you basically, I can't remember how it works. You basically return 2 of your opponent's cards from the hand and put them on the bottom of the deck. So yeah, it's really good for controlling based. And also, for the extra parts of the extra deck, extra parts of the main deck. If you're looking for control based, I run 2 Dragodias. Dragodia is good for controlling and also hand control. So yeah, basically you gain 600 attack for each card in your hand, and once you take battle damage, you can special summon this card from your hand onto the field straight away. And side effect is if you discard a card I can't remember the effect, but basically it relies on levels basically, and yeah, you can take control of a monster. I can't explain it. Never really used it much myself. But if you're not interested for control, you could run 2 battle phases instead. If your opponent attacks you directly, special summon this card and end battle phase. It's really good, and it's also banished afterwards if it's not on the field anymore. And also the final card is Goblin King. Since you're doing a lot of discarding and special summoning, Goblin King basically powers up quite a bit. He gains 1,000 points for each fiend type on the field. And yeah, this card is really good for a beat stick. So yeah, that's the monsters. And oh yeah, also Goblin King can't be targeted if you control another fiend type. Sorry about that, forgot to mention that. For the spells, I'd run about 3 Gates of Darkworld. This card is really important for this deck. It's basically like this card basically runs the whole entire deck. Basically, this combined with Grapha or Snow is a really good combo because discard Snow using a different Darkworld card or discarding card, whatever, and add this card to your hand. So yeah, really useful, this card. Also, I'd run, oh yeah, I forgot to explain how it works. Sorry about that, but I'll explain these two as well. I'll put these two as well. 2 Darkworld Lightnings. Basically, you target 1 face down card on the field. Could be anything, even your cards on the field, face down cards on the field. So basically, you set 1 card face down, and then target it, and then destroy it, and then you discard 1 afterwards. It's no cost whatsoever, so yeah, it's really good because Darkworld's effects don't work if they're used for cost. So yeah, how Gates works is basically all fiend types gain 300 attack and defense, and also how this card works. Basically, you banish. Let me read it again. Yeah, banish first. Banish 1 fiend type monster in your graveyard, then discard a card, and then draw a card. Discard 1 card, basically discard. You have to discard a fiend type, so that's what it says on the card. So yeah, you have to discard 1 fiend type and then draw a card afterwards. Really good. I'd run about 2 Gateway of the Darkworld. It's the most reborn of the deck, since all your cards are basically special summons onto the field. You only rely on basing on 2, since Grapha will revive itself no matter what. So basically, it's like a monster reborn for itself, Grapha. And basically, this deck revolves around Grapha. So it's really good. And also, when you activate this card, you cannot special summon or summon any monster, during the turn you activate this card. So basically, activate this card during your opponent's end phase, like Call or Haunted in a way. So yeah, it's really useful for getting that advantage. I'd run about 3 Darkworld Dealings. Basically, you and your opponent draw a card and discard a card. If you're versing against Light Swans, you better be careful with this card. It's very dangerous. 1 Allure of Darkness for that draw power, but you have to banish a dark type afterwards. It doesn't matter, really. And also card destruction for basically discarding. No explanation needed. Everyone knows what card destruction does. If you don't, look it up, please. As for the trap cards, I run the Virus Trio. Basically, 1 Deck Devi and 2 Epidemic Viruses. The Deck Devi, basically, what's it called? 2,000, yeah, 2,000 less. 2,000 more, actually. You tribute 1 monster with 2,000 or more attack, and for the next 3 of your opponent's turns, including the turn if you activate this card during your opponent's turn, that's 1 turn. This card, basically, if they control a monster with 1,500 attack or less, in their hand, and for the next 3 draws, 2 draws, whatever, depending on when you activate this, they have to reveal your entire hand, basically. And if they control a monster with 1,500 attack or less, they have to immediately discard it, and you are allowed to check. That's why this card's so broken. And also the Epidemic Viruses. Basically, tribute a monster with 2,500 more attack. Yeah, 2,500 attack or more. And basically, you name a spell or trap card. Basically. name spell card, you're allowed to check your opponent's hand, the field, graveyard, no, not graveyard, sorry, field, the hand, and drawing. And if they control a spell card, they have to discard it. It's also the same thing with if you choose trap cards, but you can only choose one at the moment, so that's why I run two for that destruction power. Basically, this is a Dark World virus deck. Also for the traps, I'd run two Mind Crushers. Basically, this card is basically if you run with the viruses, you're allowed to check your opponent's hand, and basically you can discard those cards that they have in the hand to graveyard, which is basically a sneak peek. And basically it's like cheating in a way, but it's Dark World, so you can't complain. And I also run two Dark Bribes for that protection. Indicate a trap or spell, and then they draw a card. Your opponent draws a card. Also, I'm missing one of these, so don't mind me if I've run proxy. 3 Dark Schemes. Sorry, it's a road because I've lost one of these. Can't remember where I put it. Basically, this card is really good in comparisons with discarding and drawing. If your opponent, let's see how this works is, your opponent can discard this one. Sorry, I'm talking too fast. Your opponent can discard one card to negate this card's effect. Otherwise, both players must discard 2 cards and draw 2 cards. This is really good. Not many people play this, but if you're running Dark Worlds, if you're running just the Dark World structure decks, this card is really, really useful. 3 of them is probably a must because they have to discard a card. Otherwise, you both have to discard 2 cards and then draw 2 cards. And basically, for Dark Worlds, that is really, really helpful. So yeah, that's basically really, really helpful. So yeah, that's basically my Dark World deck. I hope you enjoy this one. Stay tuned, and I'll probably be posting another structure deck soon, profile soon, where you can buy another free. Sorry if I'm talking a bit slow. I'm actually quite sick at the moment. So yeah, that's my Dark World profile. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. This is DCRS signing out. See you for my next video. Bye.